Hola. From the west side. It is me, DCThePurpleDiva, over here lighting my sage. Happy Friday, y'all. Late. Putting some more sage in the air. I hope you guys had a good Friday. I know, y'all. These YouTube streets were hot. Steaming hot. So, let me tell you how I started my day. So this morning, I'm hanging out with my girl Jovi Beauty. And shouts out to Jovi, because Jovi, she did her best to handle the situation. Putting sage in the air. And there's a group that she had come on her channel. God, it was about a year ago, and I remember. And there was one of the people that was part of that group, and I guess had a falling out with everyone. So apparently she hadn't really talked to a bunch of people. So we were dealing with a bunch of nonsense in regards to whether or not this person is being truthful about stuff. And it got crazy because there was like content creators who I actually follow. And I was wondering why a couple of them had not really been putting stuff out. And I told y'all that there is just stuff going on all over Black YouTube. And of course, most of the stuff that I'm seeing, is involving female content creators. Just, some people are clout chasing. Other people are simply trying to do their content, but get pulled into stuff. And that's what this thing was. So shouts out to all of the content creators who are really just trying to do their thing. It smells like sage in here right now, you guys. I'm telling you. Just putting it in the air. Because it just helps to calm. It smells good, though. Sage smells really good. So, that happened in Jovi's chat. And she thought that the situation would be diffused, and it ended up not being diffused. It ended up not being diffused. And I was really disappointed in, how some of the content creators had reacted in this situation. But then I understand from their standpoint, because even if I'm not one of those people who has friends, like friends, on YouTube, because to me, if I've never met you in real life or, had dealings with you outside of here, yeah, we're cool, but I'm not in high school, you know, so it takes more than, you know, just going back and forth on YouTube and getting along on YouTube for somebody to really be my friend. I'm just saying, you know, I'm still friends with my first friend that I met at age 5. My first real friend. We're still friends. So that's what I mean when I'm talking about friendship. You know, somebody who you can not talk to for months, and the next time you talk, it's like you never didn't talk. It could be even some of my friends that I grew up with. I may not actually talk to them that often. Like, I talk probably to my sorority sisters who I pledged with once a year when we have our anniversary. And this time we, you know, did it online. I've known those women for almost 40 years. And when we get together, it's like, you know, when we were in college. Fall right back into beat. So that's what I'm talking about when you're talking about a friendship. I guess I know that there are people on here who have real friendships because some of these people knew each other before YouTube. But then the majority have, you know, just known people over the years on YouTube. And after a few years, I guess, if, you know, continuing to deal with the same people, yeah, it will get to there. But, you know, these fast friendships, it really does take a minute to develop a friendship, especially if it's an online friendship. But, you know, I'm old school because, you know, I'm from another generation and we see things differently. We just do, you know. But a lot of it is like it was people were superficial instead of being real. That's what the issue to me is that some people were real and other people were not. And that's where the problem lies. If everybody ain't real, then it ain't real. You know? I'm just saying. But that's just my opinion. But it you know, it just seems like there's been a lot of stuff that has been rolling around during this year of 2020 um, on YouTube. And a lot of, I guess, revelations have come to pass. I guess it's the year of people's eyes being open to who people really are, you know. But I guess for those of us who always present our authentic self, you know, it is kind of crazy. You know, you wonder, it's like, how the heck, you know, how the heck do people have the time to not be themselves? It must be exhausting, you know? It must be. I'm just saying. But this morning, I did put out my day 4 Vlogmas. This one was a little longer, but it was cool. It was cool. I gave you guys like some of the decorations, because I'm decorating like the office area to get it together, So I put those on there so you guys could see that. Had a nice candle. Like red candles deal with certain, I guess, chakras or vibes or, whatever you want to call it. But it's to help with peace. And then it reminds me of the season, so that's why I have the red candle. And of course, we've got, the wreath on the door. And I show you guys my Christmas tree that I really did use when I was working outside of the home as my Christmas tree in the office. So I felt it would be only fitting for it to be, the same. I just felt it only could be the same. So that was fun making that video. I think that it is helping my creativity to come up with different things for each day. I already know what I'm going to do tomorrow. It's going to be silly, but it's going to be fun. And it's going to be what I put up for tomorrow's Vlogmas 5. Yeah. Because tomorrow's the 5th. Yeah, tomorrow's the 5th. So for December 5th, I'll have up another one. Oh, I was in Tasha K's chat tonight, and Tasha K came out with some interesting news about Lisa Ray and the brat. That they are not sisters, but that they wouldn't even, they had another type of relationship. And they just call themselves sisters, which is interesting. Hey, Treeland Truth, which is interesting because she said it was not alleged. She said they had an intimate relationship back in the day, and that they are not blood sisters. They just tell everybody that they're sisters, but they have another kind of relationship. That's wild to me. That is wild. I'm like, oh, okay. So, wow. So, they both from Chicago. That part is true. I mean, and the brat don't look nothing, obviously, like Lisa Ray anyway. She looked just like her mama. I mean, she looked exactly like her mama. And her mama still looked young, crazy. Like more like they sisters than, so her mom must have been young when she had the brat. But that was crazy when Tasha gave that information up. I was like, oh, wow. She spilled some other tea, but you know, that one she made you wait till the end of her daggone thing for. Hey, Tutu, Miss Pamela, talking about what, hey, Joe, talking about the tea that Tasha K dropped, y'all, about Lisa Ray and the brat. And she didn't say alleged. I'm going to say alleged as per Tasha K. But she said it's not alleged. She said it's not alleged. So that's the part. I was like, okay, so you're just gonna take us there. Tasha don't have no shame. Now, she did say some things in regards to Meg Thee Stallion. Y'all know I'm still not feeling, you know, stuff that she says in regards to Meg. You know, she still is talking about like Meg is trying to put a black man in jail and and she said that the case that they have against Tory Lanez is very weak. Because they have to rely on people who were intoxicated at the time. You know? I don't know. That's not looking... Even if that is the case, Tasha girl, you cannot get on there and just do that about this, you know, about this girl. You cannot continue to do that. She did get shot. You know, and want to act like, you know, this dude didn't have nothing to do with it. That's the problem. That's the problem. You know, black women don't have this black woman's back. Still. You know, and Meg Thee Stallion may have made her own mistakes or whatever in regards to stuff, you know, but what I have to say on that is that there's no way that we should be victim blaming. I know Tasha don't care. Child, I know she don't care. You know, and so I don't know if, here's my thing. I don't know if Tasha K has ever had to deal with domestic violence, you know, in her personal life or anything. But as someone who has, that's not right of her as a black woman. That's the problem. We like that when our women, you know, we say our women are not loyal if they speak up about a man doing something to them. Doesn't make any sense. It shouldn't even be that way. And yet it is. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. You're not surprised that she said that about Lisa? I mean, I was surprised that she said that about Lisa. I never got that vibe about her being with the brat. I mean, I'm not surprised that they're not biological sisters. That part I'm not surprised about. But the other part surprised me. Not necessarily that, Lisa had gone that way, because that's a Hollywood thing, and everybody seems to have gone that way. Or there are a lot of women who have, unfortunately, in that industry. As part of deal making and stuff. Sad but true. But I didn't think that, I just didn't think her in the brat. Hey, 1SP. I just didn't think that. But, the guys that she's been with, I will say this, the guys that Lisa Ray has been with, they haven't been, well, like the dude from Turks and Caicos. Dude, I mean, wanted to be around Dwayne Martin more than he wanted to be around her. I mean, and that whole situation caused the demise of Tisha Campbell's marriage as well. So like that whole situation, I was like, I don't know. Like all them dudes.
Them niggas always been fag. I used to see them at the park.
Oh my God, see. My dude, see what y'all don't know is my dude, even though he's from the Midwest, he went to high school in the Valley. So he went to high school at a lot of these, and was around a lot of these guys on the basketball courts. Because, they all thought they could play. Especially Dwayne Martin. So, I mean, it's
cocaine snorting facts.
I know y'all heard that. I'm not gonna even repeat it. I wasn't around that element. The music business had its craziness as well, y'all. I'm gonna just say that is just as bad on that side, I mean, so people they be trying to turn folk out and whatnot. Trying to turn folk out and whatnot. Yeah, the prime minister was. Has he remarried? I don't think so. I think he's still hanging out with his boy, Dwayne Martin. I mean, they were saying that, Dwayne was doing stuff that him and Will had a special type of situation going on, but apparently not. I guess. I guess Will was just one of his legitimate friends. And maybe Will didn't swing that way along with him. I really hate to hear this about, pick a side. I'm just saying, pick a side. Dwayne Martin is a legend on the court, son. Dwayne Martin is the GOAT on the court. Well, my dude has played basketball against said dude. My dude is a good basketball player. He's played with Brian McKnight with his old behind as well. Back in the day. Yeah, Brian always had a thing for younger women. Back then, He had a thing for younger women. It was crazy. But you know, these Hollywood folk, you know, they into all kinds of stuff. I'm telling you. I've told you guys that I that at one point, because y'all know I was, you know, doing music and everything, I would get invited to parties, to private parties, and I knew that the people that were there didn't want nobody to know that they were there. Went to a couple. They were interesting. Saw a few actresses that I knew went both ways at some of those parties. So I wasn't even surprised to see them, but saw other people that I was quite surprised, you know, because I was hanging out with my friends that were in the business, and they would be like, come on, come to this party with me. You're not going to believe who's going to be at the party. And, you know, because it's not my place to be telling people's business. I won't say who was there. But it was interesting. And that was 20-something years ago. So I can only imagine. Y'all, where things have gone in the 21st century. It's probably out on steroids at this point, you know. Because, you know, everybody gets high. They can tell you they don't get high. They all get high. And they get the expensive stuff. But you're always looking for some weed. Because I would, yeah. I would see people, you know, I'm like, I didn't know that person smoked weed. But I'd be in the studio to do background vocals, not my business. I would be like, oh, okay, I didn't know they smoked. And I guess if you weren't in the studio with them, you wouldn't know they smoked either, because it wasn't something they did in public. Now, here's one person who I did see in the studios, who I did know smoked trees, but I didn't know they smoked cigarettes. And that would be Jill Scott. She tells you she smokes trees. Paul. Hey, Paul. Oh, you're talking. Oh, I know who you're talking about. You're talking about the porn star. Yeah, he was everywhere. Everybody knew that stupid guy. Yeah, I mean, but they would be at, you guys, let me just tell y'all, my dad went to a party at the Playboy Mansion, okay? So that tells you that you didn't have to be an entertainer to go to those parties. He went to a party at the Playboy Mansion because he was dating a Playboy bunny at the time. This was in between his marriages to my mama and to his current wife when he was single. And you know, and he was dating a Playboy bunny. So he hung out at a couple of parties at the Playboy Mansion. Oh, Clooney is a tree hugger. Oh, well, that wouldn't surprise me. I mean, you know. You know who it would surprise me if they don't? Matthew McConaughey. It would surprise me if he doesn't. And I know he's from Texas or something, but you know, he just has that surfer dude vibe. So, you know, I mean, and that's his kind of vibe in real life. And he just takes it into the movies. You know, I mean, it's a lot of things that worse they could be doing besides, I guess, those. Speaking of that, they said that during this pandemic, by the way, pandemic is the most used word in 2020. That during this pandemic, that people's alcohol consumption and cannabis consumption in the states where it's legal has gone up. Oh, and let me give y'all another thing. Y'all gonna love this one. The NBA has decided that they will not be drug testing for cannabis in the coming season. And y'all know what happens if the NBA does that. The next ones to do it will be baseball and football. So we won't. So it's going to be in a minute. Our athletes are no longer going to be getting tested for cannabis. But the NBA has already announced it, that they will not be testing players for cannabis. In other words, if they smoke a little weed during the off season, they're not going to be restricted from playing. Can you guys imagine this? That because y'all know that there are players in the past, Allen Iverson, who have had issues because of their love for the tree. And now the NBA has decided that it will no longer be testing for cannabis. Now, they didn't say anything about other pharmaceuticals. They're still going to be testing for, they didn't say, well, I guess golfers will probably be on that same thing. But think about it, 1SP, as the NBA, if the NBA says that they're not going to test, then the other major sports are probably going to follow suit. Hey, Dreambuzz. I just thought that was funny. And I didn't see that one coming. I did not see that one coming at all. So that's going to be interesting. I mean, I'm sure that there are players that partake of the tree. So that's clearly the reason why. And clearly they're not doing it because it's probably, players that they would need to be playing since they're having such a short time off. I mean, the Lakers don't even get to celebrate being world champions. That's how fast it is. I think the first game is on December the 22nd. Maybe that's why they're letting us know. So I guess to all you NBA players out there, if you're out there having a few trees on the off season, go ahead and blaze up, because apparently the NBA is not going to be testing. I guess because there are multiple states where it is legal. So I guess they're saying F federal law on this. We not drug testing for that no more. But you know what? A lot of employers have stopped testing for marijuana too. For that same reason. I think it's probably because of it becoming legal. And I think it's only legal medicinally in Florida, 1SP. Florida, in Georgia, a lot of the southern states, it's medicinal. But when I say that it's like 30 states that have legalized it, that means it's legal for at least medicinal use. I think if once 33 states have it legal for at least medicinal, then that automatically knocks it off of being a Schedule 1 drug, because the states will outrule federal law at that point in regards to that. Hey, underrated darkness. Some of the smoke that is very strong. I'm just saying, the NBA made that announcement. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday they made that announcement that cannabis is no longer part of their drug testing. I just thought that was an interesting thing. I said, here we go. That means everybody else is going to do it. That's like, they figured, like when California, even though California didn't end up being the first one to legalize recreational, but because of California doing medicinal so many years ago, that's what pushed, more states. Even though, in my humble opinion, the states aren't going to be able to really regulate it the way that they want to, state by state, until it's no longer a Schedule 1 drug. Because the dispensaries in most states are cash businesses, because the money can't go to a bank. And that's a dangerous way to do business. You have to emphasize the mandatory welfare program. That's the issue that should be pushed. What mandatory welfare program? Are you talking about something that's going to be coming with the new administration? Because there's never been a mandatory welfare program in this country. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, Archetta? Archetto. La Archetto. I don't know what you're talking about. Last I checked, they're trying to do away with the programs here. Okay, I smudged out my sage. I have a nice sagey atmosphere in here. Biden is going to tax Social Security. Really? Well, how about you can't tax Social Security? Yeah, he's not going to be able to do that. No, what he said he was going to do, he said that they were going to raise taxes on the higher tax brackets, or basically he's going to undo what Trump did in lowering their taxes. But I don't think he's going to be able to do that, because I don't think that Congress is going to let him. Listen to what you're saying. You sound like you're selling mouthwash. Selling mouthwash? Are you a troll? Because I don't know what you're talking about. You must be a troll. I don't know who Senator Palantine is. Why don't you tell me who Senator Palantine is? What state is Senator Palantine in? Because I'm in California. Hey, Vicky's World. Thank you for coming through, sis. And thank you for watching my playlist. I appreciate you, sis. I'm close, y'all. I don't know how close, because I haven't looked again. I at this point, I figured don't look anymore. I know that the last time I looked, I was somewhere around like 50 hours. So that's why I'm not looking anymore. I'll just wait. You know, maybe I'll look after the weekend, because it should be, hopefully, like in the next day or two. It should be there. I hope. We are the people. When I said let the people rule, I felt I was being somewhat overly optimistic. Well, if you're talking about in the Constitution, the we the people, we know that that's not about everybody. And we also know that the way that the electoral system is set up, it was never set up for the popular vote to actually be the driving force behind who will become president. But at this particular point, for the next election, it appears that Mr. Biden has clinched his electoral college win. So therefore, he will be the one who will be voted in January. Now everybody's hoping for more COVID money. You know, they're hoping that they'll get another stimulus check. We'll see. You know, because all of you people who are hoping for a stimulus check, you're not going to get one from 45. And I don't know if 46 will be able to do that. We shall see. I mean, the one little one that they swapped out to everybody in the country, you know, I know the people who really needed the help, it probably didn't really help them, you know. For those of us who, you know, did not lose a job, thank you, God, it was a little help, you know. Hey, Terry. Thank you, sis. I know I'm when I'm not on here, when I'm not live or uploading, I'm running my own playlist too, y'all. I mean, because if I don't have faith in myself, but of course, when I'm doing the live, I'm actually in the live at the same time on my mobile. So my lives automatically run on my channel. And then I rerun them on my backup channel. Because that's what I'm doing right now. I'm in the process of finishing watching my lives. And the list, of course, keeps getting longer because I keep adding a live every day. But it's okay. You know, I'm going to keep grinding. I've got some ideas for some things that I am going to do. I am seriously going to do my research, but I think I am going to talk about dating over the age of 50 and, how that's going for folks, especially with dating apps. So I think that will be really interesting, especially, you know, see how women have approached it. I've never tried it. I have to say that. I haven't. But I know that there are women who are going through that, dating in their 50s and these dating websites, except for Plenty of Fish. Don't do that to yourself. I'm just saying, don't do that to yourself. And I mean, they have a couple of them that are supposed to be for people that are, specifically over 50, but I don't know about those either, y'all. Rocco Dillon. Y'all, we got trolls. But, I mean, they're just talking politics, so as long as they stay nice, they can stay. But mod, y'all know. Y'all already know. So for the trolls in my chat, you're welcome to be here, but just be aware, this is an autism channel, so don't get out of line. Hey, T Million. Just letting y'all know. But I have a peaceful chat. As long as you're respectful to other people, we will not have any problems. You can come and you can say what you're talking about, because it looks like you're talking about the Constitution. Yeah. But I will tell you this, there's a huge amount of unemployment still in our country. Those of us who are still employed, are still gainfully employed, are thankful to be employed. But I'm still trying to make myself have multiple streams of income. Because I already know, trying to just, pray for one income, nobody can realistically rely on that. Because even though when this pandemic started, I didn't lose my job, there were people who worked at my company that did. And I had to take, a cut in pay. Ouch. Thankfully, I was able to still make my bills. Keep the lights on. And do I think that our federal government could have done more for the little people doing that? I think that they could have. I think that it's sad that it appears that even when that help was doled out, the little people didn't really get that help. Okay, he's just okay. So Rockwell is just stating opinions. Like I said, I don't know, y'all. I'm not sitting around holding my breath for any more stimulus checks, okay? And anybody who's sitting around looking for stimulus checks, I think that's what people should be looking for. They need to create ways for people to make money, to be self-sustaining. Because right now in places like California, homeless population is going up. Especially in the county that I live in, Los Angeles County. Horrible. And because the weather is probably milder here, you see a lot more of it with people out in the elements. I mean, I remember at home where I grew up, I mean, there were homeless people, but like in the wintertime, they would get shelter. They had shelter. I don't know how safe they were, but they did have inside shelters. And I know that's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't like to go to the shelters, because it's not always safe. That's the crazy part. So they'd rather be on the streets because they feel safer. Or they go find them a place under a freeway overpass. Or they sleep in their car if they're lucky enough to have one. But that's what's going on. Thanks to the pandemic, it's worse because it was already going on. It's just worse now. Oh, they're talking about people stealing from the stores. People are still going and stealing stuff, even during the pandemic. They're saying some people walked out of stores with large ticket items. And they show you them walking, because it's on tape. Had like 4 or 5 TVs. They were at least 60 to 70 inches. It's worse in Southern California, Vicky. It's worse in Southern California, sadly, because the weather here is unfortunately nicer. So you see more of the people out on the streets. I mean, downtown Los Angeles, my church, before the pandemic, every 3 months, we would go down to what we called King and Queen's Row. We had renamed Skid Row, and we would take toiletries, blankets, all of that kind of stuff. And then one of our church members, who does food services in the entertainment industry, would come down there with his food service truck and feed as many people as he could, but we're only able to do that once a quarter. We're not in the position to house, these people. And then the sad thing is that many of them are on the streets because by choice. Some of them are on the streets because they don't want to be on their meds. Because some people do have some things going on with them. And it's just easier for them. So that's how they choose to live their life. They've just given up on living it any other way. That's not everybody. That's just some people. The majority of the people are people that, you know, lost a job. Something happened. They got sick. They were one income families. And the one person who had an income, their income is gone. Now there's no income. You know? But if I wish a president would try to tax Social Security. I wish one would try to do that. We'll see. I'm not feeling that. You drove it for 20. It's not any better now. I think, you know, I don't even want to think of what it looks like now during the pandemic. One of the members of the choir at my church manages like one of the buildings that people on Skid Row live in. So, you know, the transitional housing down there. And then another member of my church is the chaplain at the LA Mission. So, you know, I can honestly say we have members of my church that are, you know, down there every day. And some of the things that the young lady that's in the choir has told me about, you know, that she's seen with some of these people that are living in there. She's like, you know, some of them are just not right. They, you know, they're not mentally stable. You know, but instead of being in a hospital or on some type of medication, they live on Skid Row. Hey, Jack. I mean, when I used to work in downtown LA, I did not work that far from Skid Row. You know, and I mean, being realistic, downtown LA, you see, I mean, let me just say, in LA, Southern California, you see homeless people all over. I mean, there was a homeless man that lived at the end of my street. And he was like in his early 30s, young man. He chose to do this, chose to live that way. And he passed. You know, come to find out, he had diabetes. And from what I understand, he didn't have type 2 diabetes. He's one of those people who had, you know, been born with diabetes. He had developed it as a child, but he was living out on the streets, drinking and doing everything wrong. And early on doing this stuff. It's crazy. But yeah, no, I mean, I've lived in nice neighborhoods and I've still seen homeless people. I'm telling you, in nice neighborhoods. There's homeless people in Beverly Hills, just like there are homeless people in downtown LA. You know? Yeah, some people do get on the buses and just ride back and forth. They got enough money for a bus pass. It keeps them out of the element. And then, I mean, obviously, I don't know what's going on downtown now, but I know prior to the pandemic that they would clear the streets. The streets are clear. If you were trying to come down there to do anything for people, to hand out stuff, you had to get down there early because they're gone. Like and the police start clearing the streets. They clear the streets. So they can't even, they can't stay hanging out on the streets down there all day. They have to move. They have to keep it moving. And then they come back, they fill up. There's like a park and all kinds of stuff down there, y'all. It's like, it's depressing. And it's just so sad because there's so many people down there, young people. It's not, families. I'm sure it's worse now. Because we keep hearing about people continuously losing their jobs. I mean, now, the governor of California is talking about a possible stay-at-home order again. Travel restrictions. Like, I don't know when I'm going to get to go see my daddy. From what I understand, if you travel, you have to take a COVID test before you leave. And then you have to take one when you come back. And you have to quarantine for as if you do have it until you find out that you're negative. I said that's it seems like you guys are doing. This is. Oh, you used to go down and pick them up. Wow. Oh, you were a bus driver. Okay. All right, girl. I can only imagine what's going on, and they're talking about it. It's not like, you can't. The homeless problem is getting so bad, y'all. They can't not talk about it. And I think that, obviously it was already an issue here in California. That was no secret. And LA has a huge homeless issue. Also, not a secret. The pandemic has done nothing but make it worse. Because more people have lost their jobs. And y'all heard about the, dead people and prisoners who are getting, unemployment checks. Meanwhile, people who should be getting them still haven't gotten one. Some people, I mean, the unemployment, the EDD here in California is horrible. I pray I never, ever have to deal with them ever, 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 ever again in life. I'm telling you. They're horrible. Pray I never have to deal with that place. And whoever is running it needs to be fired. Needs to be fired. But Newsom is too busy. Too busy. I don't know what he's doing. Because I swear to God, I don't feel like that man is running this damn state. Oh, y'all. Let me see. How long have I been? I've been on for over an hour. So I'm going to get ready to pop off of here because I'll be back on tomorrow. We're pretty much locked in. So I think I only get to go out once tomorrow because I gotta go get I gotta get my nails done before they shut down the nail shops. It's a serious situation over here. It's a serious situation. I know. I'm just being vain. David's not here, so I get to be vain. Let me see. All right, there we go. Hey everybody. I gotta get this fixed, y'all. Look at that broken nail. Broken. It is broken. So I gotta fix it. The rest of them they don't look bad, but that one's broken. It's I'm not a girly girl about everything, but this is my one little thing I do for myself. My one thing I do for myself is I get my nails done. So I will see you guys tomorrow. And until then, I offer you guys peace and blessings from the West Side. I will have a vlogmas for you guys tomorrow in the morning at some point. And I'm going to try to come on sometime during the day. And then I'll also try to be on tomorrow night. All right? I'll see you guys. Peace, everybody. Thank y'all for being here. Bye.